Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Time. I'm Tyler,
And I'm Molly.
and this is the show where we talk about the movies we like.
And the ones we don't.
We're back at it again with another double feature. This time, we're talking about Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw
Texas
Massacre.
Chainsaw Massacre. Sorry.
Why'd you do
I was
that?
trying to be dramatic.
No,
My
stop
bad.
it.
My bad.
Get some help.
My bad.
Anyways, so originally we were supposed to do a double feature of Psycho and the Birds, two Alfred Hitchcock movies, but when I thought about it, I figured, the two movies we did instead had much more, made more sense thematically speaking, and they had more connections than the Psycho and the Birds.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, what else besides the fact they were both directed by Hitchcock do Psycho and the Birds have in common?
I don't know.
Nothing.
I can't think of any.
But hold on.
Oh.
Now, these two movies have much more in common. For one, they both concern the machinations of what evil men can do when they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're both, some of the starters of the slasher movie genre. Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre being some of the first to really put into motion all the tropes of which we recognize in slasher movies today. The high body count, people going somewhere they really shouldn't be going, the final girl running away from the killer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Both movies were also inspired by the killings of Ed Gein, a notorious serial killer back in the 50s. So there's that too.
Yeah. Real interesting.
Now, neither movie really can say they were based off of Ed Gein, but more inspired by. And we'll get into that once we get to the actual movies. But let's talk about Psycho first,
Okay.
since that was the one that came first.
Alright. Well, Tyler, who is the cast in Psycho?
Well, like we said before, Psycho was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It's probably one of, if not his most well-known work.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Now, Psycho stars Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates. Probably one of the best cast characters ever.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I mean,
So great.
yeah. Although, he does look different from the Norman Bates we see in the book. Now, in the book, he's overweight, he's bald, he's ugly, he reads too much porn. He's very. He's kind of gross.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Now, in the remake, the remake that was made in the '90s, Norman Bates was played by Vince Vaughn, who, no disrespect to Vaughn, but he's a bit closer to the look of book Norman Bates, but still, Vince Vaughn is a lot handsomer than book Norman Bates. But aside from not really looking like how the character was described, Perkins is absolutely perfect for the role.
Yeah, he's very creepy.
He's very creepy, but he's also very friendly too.
Yeah. So it's like an even more shock when you find out he's the one killing these people.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Spoiler, if you haven't watched Psycho yet.
Well, yeah, it's a 62-year-old movie.
Yeah.
At this point, you only have yourself to blame. Anyways, this movie also stars Vera Miles as Lila Crane, John Gavin as Sam Loomis, a name that John Carpenter would poach for his 1978 film Halloween. Janet Leigh as Marion Crane. Janet Leigh, of course, being the mother of the star of Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis. Martin Balsam as Detective Milton Arbogast. There's
That's
some
probably
other.
all the big ones.
There's some other bit players in it, but
there's not too many main characters, really.
not really. But yeah, that's really everyone in there. So when I first saw this movie, I actually knew the twist, you know, Marion gets killed in not even halfway through, and Norman's mother Norma had been dead, and he's been actually dressing up as her and killing people. So, but even still, going into it, knowing all of that, I was still just absolutely entranced by everything that was going on.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. I don't remember, but I have a feeling. If I think, I don't think I knew exactly everything that was going on, but I knew that Marion was gonna die.
Well,
obviously, I mean,
well,
I knew she's gonna die in the shower.
Yeah, that's one of the most iconic scenes in film history.
Yeah, really good.
And funnily enough, when the movie was in theaters, Hitchcock wanted theaters to not let anyone in after the movie had started because that would ruin the twist for them.
Yeah.
Well, the first twist, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And like we said, this is inspired by Ed Gein, and the way Norman Bates was inspired by Ed Gein was Ed Gein had a strange relationship with his mother. Now, he didn't necessarily dress up as his mother and kill people, but his mother really kept a hold on him, sexually speaking.
Oh.
No, there wasn't any incest. She just, whatever thoughts he had, she made sure to, don't do that.
Oh.
And she was very abusive to him, much like how Norma was to Norman.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the book, there was comparisons drawn to Ed Gein.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And just the whole mother-son dynamic that Ed Gein and his mother had is similar to the one that Norman Bates and Norma had. Yeah, so there's that. So this movie starts with a woman, Marion Crane, stealing $40,000 from someone.
Her place of work.
From someone trying to deposit it at her place of work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's funny in the scene. The rich yeehaw cowboy is flirting with Marion.
Yeah.
And her not quite as attractive coworker says, "I wonder why he didn't flirt with me. It must be because he saw my wedding ring." No, lady. It's because he saw your enormous forehead and said, "Man, I could land a plane on that."
Wow, Tyler.
And so, Marion, not really liking that this guy is flirting with her at her place of work, decides, I'm going to steal his money.
Mm-hmm.
So she does exactly that.
Yep. Takes the money and drives away to go see her boyfriend.
Yeah, and this is explained better in the book. In the book, Sam had he had inherited this store that he'd been running from his dad after he died, but he also inherited all the debts that his dad owed to people. So Marion was taking this money to help him pay those debts so that they can actually, get together.
Yeah. In the movie, it's described he's been divorced and has to pay alimony, and he's poor, and so I guess she was just stealing the money so they would have a better start to their life.
Yeah. Either way, she's helping the money,
Yeah.
stealing money to help Sam.
Mm-hmm.
But once she gets to a certain hotel, Bates Motel, she realizes maybe this was a mistake. I should take this back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so she does that. Well,
no,
she tries to do that.
She does not.
Obviously, she doesn't do that.
No.
So, and that's when she gets killed in the shower by Mother.
Yep.
Yeah, Mother.
Norma.
Yeah. There's a terrific scene right before that with Norman and Marion talking in the office. Talking about Mother and stuff like that, and it's pretty suspenseful upon rewatch because that she's dying in the next scene.
Yeah, she is not gonna make it too long.
Now, what's In a parallel between real life and the movie, Anthony Perkins actually revealed that his own mother abused him in a similar way that Norma did to Norman.
Oh.
So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just remembered that.
That must be my mother.
So what else is there to say about Psycho?
Do you have a favorite part?
Favorite part? That's really tricky. The whole movie is so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good parts.
I think I really like the final scene when
that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Norman has Mother's voice in his head saying how she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Yeah, and then he looks up at the camera and it's just like
all creepy.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a great shot too.
Yep.
Is that yours then?
Probably, but also I like when the suspense is building with Marion's sister walking around the house, and you know something's about to happen, and you're like, oh man, what's happening?
Here we have quiet little motion, when in fact it has now
What I really like is that this movie is very accurate to the book, though. All things considered.
I wouldn't know. I need to read it.
Yeah, I own the book and I have it on CD as well. So, yeah, I mean, listening to it on CD, yeah, that counts as reading it. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I mean,
you listen to it. You know what happens.
It's basically someone reading the book to you.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. So yeah, I can say I've read the book.
Yeah.
And just going scene by scene in the movie, it's more or less spot on. I mean, yes, there's some things in the book that you can do better, like you can have more details, you can go into characters' backstories and all that, but all things considered, it's pretty spot on. So yeah, this is a pretty good adaptation as well.
I'll have to put it on my reading list.
Now, I don't think we need to say who our favorite character is.
Probably not.
Because
it's probably the same.
Yeah, it's probably Norman Bates for you, too,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
He's just creepy.
He's creepy. He's friendly. He's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Now, for the Oscars that year, Hitchcock was actually upset that they didn't nominate Anthony Perkins for Best Actor for this. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, he should have been. He was great.
Yeah, I would be upset too.
Now, we're going to go off on a tangent here because we just absolutely love Anthony Perkins in this role. He's great. He's fantastic. He's absolutely magnificent. I love him.
Okay.
Just gonna... I mean, he's dead now, so he's not going to see this, but he was absolutely wonderful in this role, and I can't imagine anyone else doing the same job as him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's like one of those roles that just cannot be replaced.
They hit the nail on the head with this role and with this casting, and he was perfect. Mm-hmm. He's one of the just best cast roles I've ever seen.
Yeah. He was good.
Now, enough of sucking off Anthony Perkins. So there's been a few sequels to this movie, Psychos 2, 3, and 4. There's been a remake, and there's been a TV series, Bates Motel. Now, I've only seen Psycho 2, and it's not quite as good as the first one, but it's still pretty alright.
I'll have to watch it.
I haven't seen Psychos 3 and 4.
I can't imagine they'd be too good, but...
I'm sure they're not as bad as we think.
We'll
maybe they're okay.
We need to give them a watch, and then we can review them.
Now, the remake of Psycho is said to be a shot-for-shot remake of the original.
Yeah.
So
like...
it doesn't, not adding anything new, just doing the exact same thing as the first one. Which, I mean, if it has good performances and everything, like I said, Vince Vaughn is Norman Bates, then maybe it's worth a watch. I don't know. But we'll see if we ever get around to that.
Yeah, we will see.
Now, the show, Bates Motel, I've seen the first season of it, and like I said, no Anthony Perkins was the best Norman Bates we've had, just by far. But Freddie Highmore does a pretty good job as Bates, all things considered. You know, he does, and it does help that he kind of looks like a younger Anthony Perkins. So there's that too.
Very interesting.
So that's all we have to say about Psycho, I think.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely wonderful movie, and I'd say almost perfect.
Why just almost?
I don't know. It's just I feel like I don't know. No, it is perfect. There's nothing wrong with this movie.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Now, some people have taken issue with the psychiatrist at the end explaining everything. But here's the thing, though. Something similar happened in the book. You know, it wasn't a psychiatrist. It was Sam explaining everything to Lila. So, the thing is book accurate. And two, while we the audience know everything going on, the characters don't.
Yeah.
So they need to have everything explained to them, to wrap things up. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's that.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Definite recommend for Psycho from us.
Yes.
Just, as you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a different movie.
A very different movie. Can I ask you a question, or do you want to go on into the cast first?
You can ask the question.
You probably will talk about this later, so I'm probably going to get you out of order here, and I'm sorry. But you said that both Norman Bates and Leatherface are based off of Ed Gein.
Yeah.
But these are two completely different characters.
True.
So I would like to know how Leatherface is representative of Ed Gein, please.
I'll get to that.
Okay. I figured you probably would.
So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre stars Marilyn Burns as Sally, Paul A. Partain as Franklin, her brother. Now, these two are going to this area in Texas to visit their dad's old home.
There were some grave...
There were some grave robbings.
Or, like,
yeah, they were stealing body parts.
I don't know, yeah.
This movie also stars Alan Danziger as Jerry, a friend of theirs. William Vale, Kirk as another friend of theirs. And Terry McMinn as another friend of theirs, Pam. This is a very small cast.
Yes.
Edwin Neal as the hitchhiker they picked up, who don't pick up hitchhikers, kids.
I never planned to.
Jim Sadow, I don't know if I said that name right, but I'm gonna say I didn't. As the old man in the movie, the like the leader of this sort of family.
The guy at the gas station.
Guy at the gas station, yeah. And then Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface. Now, like with other horror movie franchises, there's been a number of people to have played Leatherface throughout the years, but Gunnar Hansen is the one who's played him the most. He's played him 2 or 3 or 4 times.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, he's basically to this series what Kane Hodder was to the Friday the 13th series, or Robert Englund to the Nightmare, or to a lesser extent Nick Castle to Halloween. But yeah, so Hansen played him in this one and the sequel, I think, and then the years later he played him in a few movies in the 2010s before he died.
Alright, speaking of Leatherface.
So, you're asking how Leatherface is similar to Ed Gein.
Yes.
Well, it's pretty simple, all the grave robbings.
Oh.
That's what
Alright.
that's what Ed Gein was known for.
Oh, okay.
Ed Gein dug up bodies from his town cemetery and just took parts and used them for all sorts of stuff around the house. He built his furniture out of body parts.
That's weird.
He had skulls for bowls. He had lampshades made out of human skin. He had chairs and tables and stuff made out of bones. He had a belt made out of nipples.
Sorry, I should not have left.
Yeah. I mean, not Leatherface. Ed Gein didn't actually kill any of these people, though.
Oh.
I think overall he killed 2 or 3 people.
Oh, so he did still kill people.
Yeah, he still killed people, but and he ended up in an insane asylum afterwards because they realized that this guy is a lunatic.
To me, it seems like Leatherface is a more closer representation, I guess? Or
Well,
what do you say?
They take different aspects of Ed Gein, both
Yeah.
equally important parts. So, yeah, I feel like it's. I'm not sure which one is a closer representation. Now, the beginning of this movie says that this is a true story that happened. No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it does take inspiration from Ed Gein, but that's it. It just takes inspiration. You know?
Yeah.
Like, this exact story did not happen. Well, I mean, it could have happened. So,
Not that we know.
you know, it could have happened, and that's really the scary thing. You know, not everyone's gonna get attacked in their dreams by some burnt guy, or is gonna be attacked by a 100-foot tall gorilla, but there are some places in this world that you can go to where people are just gonna want to kill you.
Yeah.
Although, this being Texas, no one has a gun. That's
Yeah,
weird.
that's weird.
And
Oh, well.
there's only 2 women in this whole movie. Neither of them know what bras are, apparently.
Okay.
I mean, that has nothing to do with what we were just saying, but
No,
I just had to
does
point it
not.
out because how else am I going to bring that up? I mean, how else?
Okay.
Anyways,
Favorite part?
favorite part. I'm not sure because I mean, I don't get me wrong, I do like this movie, but it's kind of hard to get through. But not because of the violence or anything. It's pretty tame, all things considered.
Yeah, they don't show a lot,
Yeah, and
really.
for a movie called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there's only one chainsaw killing, and it's of the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
But it's just it's slow, you know, like it's slow goings in this movie, and apparently it's also a criticism of the meat industry too.
I could sort of see that, I guess.
But favorite part,
Favorite part?
I'm not really sure,
I don't
honestly.
either. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
That opening text scroll was pretty neat, pretty spooky.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot it had that. This is only my second time watching it, so I forget things.
There's also a lack of music in this movie.
Yeah, there is. I didn't notice that until you said something, but you're right.
You know, it kind of helps enhance the spooky atmosphere.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what my favorite part would be, actually.
I don't really know either. It's not that I don't dislike this, you know. It's a good scary movie. The setting. Uh-oh. Sorry, cat knocked over something. Like whenever they're inside the house. I guess my favorite part is when the girl, Pam, I believe, the first girl to die.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the only girl to die.
Yeah.
Is, like, falls into that room with the chicken and is looking around and she's realizing that she's in a very, freaky house.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably my favorite. Because it really amps up what's going on.
Yeah, that is a pretty good scene. Now, like we said, there's multiple sequels to this. I've only seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's kind of a comedy, really.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a sheriff going after Leatherface and the family now, played by Dennis Hopper, and he decides to use a chainsaw against Leatherface.
Nice.
Like,
It's funny.
yeah. And I've seen the remake. It has Arlie Ermy in it as the sheriff in this one, and that was kind of freaky, honestly. But yeah, the original is, as of now, it's still the best one. Although the remake is pretty good, and there hasn't been a Texas Chainsaw Massacre TV show. I don't think. I'm gonna say there hasn't.
Not that I know
Just
of.
guessing. There isn't one. So that's probably all we have to say about this one too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll catch you guys next
Good holiday
time.
movie.
Yeah, it is.
See you next time.